When I was here at the Strike Zone working with everybody as they came in, I believe it was the first day they were all together. The idea was to pool everyone together in one room and cover some of the essential people skills that are required to just interact. And as they come in, and they come in from all over this country, right? It's imperative that they start off right away by bonding, getting to know each other a little bit. And so my goal with the workshop that I did was to just give them some of those essential people skills, just little reminders, right, of what they can be doing to just be more proactive as they get to know each other and start to become teammates throughout this Corn Belt season. So
15 years ago when I took this class, it was a 12-week thing I wanted to do to kind of enhance my abilities of being an owner and manager of the Strike Zone facility. And it was a great opportunity, and I look forward to how we can build leaders in our community, not just through the game of baseball, but in life in general and through the job force. So I thought this would be a great opportunity.
So one of the tools that we give people in the workshop, in this particular workshop, was what we call the conversation links. And it's something that we do in session 1 of the flagship Dale Carnegie program. And the conversation links are pictures that we glue together with some action, and those pictures become representations of questions that we could ask people. When we're in those awkward moments where we have to kind of start a conversation off with people, it's like, what do we do? How do we, what do we say? And so we take people through these images. We start off with visualizing, right, like a nameplate. And then from there, we visualize a big 3-story yellow brick house crushing that nameplate. On the porch of the house is an entire family, right? And so we kind of tell this story with these images, the nameplate, the house, the family, and it goes on and on. And those images represent questions that we can ask other people. And we know that people are interested in themselves, right? And so when we can be proactive and we can ask other people questions that'll get them talking about themselves, it's a great way to start building that trust that we need to build in relationships.
Yeah, this has been going on for about 6 years. It started with a gentleman by the name of Dwayne that headed it up, and now Steve Bergeron is taking it over, and they work well together. It's just actually, you know what, for the kids that come to the sessions and our members that come to the sessions, you see them walking out of here more enlightened on being a positive, more confidence in them. And I think that's the goal of the league, is to develop these players, send them back to their colleges, their universities, their high schools, and just know that they're a better player and a better all-around person.
Initially, when I first got into Dale Carnegie, I was kind of blindsided by it, actually. I had read Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, in high school. It was one of my favorite all-time reads, still to this day it is. And I married my high school sweetheart. We were married for 10 years. We had 3 boys. This is in 2003. And I had realized that my wife and I had stopped connecting. And it was driving me crazy. I've always felt like the core of everything I do is that relationship that I have with my wife. If that is solid, everything else is great, right? And so in 2003, I just kind of hit a breaking point after 10 years of marriage, and I was so frustrated because my wife and I had lost that connection. At the time, I was running a full-time business here in Omaha, and the business was thriving. It was doing well. I had 25 employees. Everything was great. But personally, I just felt empty, and it was because of that relationship with my wife that had just kind of gone sideways. We never fought or argued. We weren't communicating. And so I got online one night to just do a little bit of searching for Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now, I already had a copy of it, but it was tattered. I just was looking for a new copy. And I just happened to come across this Dale Carnegie website that was encouraging you to sign up for the Dale Carnegie course. Honestly, I had no idea that class even existed. I didn't know. And I was intrigued, and I'm like, what's this? And I kind of, scrolled around on the website a little bit, and it was talking about, all these things around just being more effective in your business, with your confidence, people skills, all these things. And I remember thinking at the time, I don't need help with my business, right? I just want the book, and I want a better relationship with my wife. And there was this little thing on the website that said, it was this call to action that said, give us your name and email and we'll send you the Golden Book. And the Golden Book is a little, sort of a cliff note version of all of Dale Carnegie's principles from his 2 best-selling books. And I figured, what have I got to lose? So I went ahead, gave him my email and phone number, and knew that I would be getting contacted, right? I had no interest in getting into this class. I just wanted the Golden Book. I thought it would be cool to get. And I got a phone call the next day from a Dale Carnegie consultant that said, hey, we're going to send you this Golden Book. I see you were on the website. What do I need to do to get you into a Dale Carnegie course? And of course I'm thinking, here we go, high pressure sales, right? And it wasn't that way at all. And he said, why were you on the website? And I said, look, I just want the Golden Book. And he kept pushing, in a friendly way, by the way, asked me questions about my business. Finally, I said, look, this isn't about my business. It's about my relationship with my wife. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, you should jump into the Dale Carnegie course. And I'm thinking, this guy will just tell me anything to get me to enroll in this class, which is not a cheap class to take. And so he said, look, come to the first 3 sessions. And if you don't like it, and if you're not getting anything out of it, walk away, you don't owe me anything. He said, but if you attend the 3 sessions and you want to come back for the sessions after, he said, you owe me that money. He said, you got a deal? And I said, yeah, we got a deal. So I jumped into the Dale Carnegie course, and it was session 3 where I had my breakthrough. And I realized that as we were talking about Dale Carnegie's first 9 human relation skills, that my marriage was suffering because I was a terrible listener. And I had to just suck it up and admit that to myself. And that changed everything. And so still today, I'm married to my wife, 30 plus years, and I owe it all to the Dale Carnegie course.
Well, going into it, I was a little nervous because not only are you in a new place, but you just kind of get here and we're going to do this seminar. And you don't really know what to expect going into it, but at first I thought maybe it was going to be something that I've probably heard before, I've heard other people say, other coaches say, but it was a lot different and we were really involved, so I was not really sure what to expect, but it was new, so I was ready to get involved.
I think this question comes up often about, what of the 30 Dale Carnegie principles, which one really stands out as being the most important for me? As a Dale Carnegie trainer, and I've done this for over 20 years, I've gone back and forth between a couple of them. And I always seem to land on the same principle over and over. And if you read How to Win Friends and Influence People, it'll talk about principle 17 as being the principle that you should just never forget. And the principle is try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. And I think if we practice that principle, it makes our conversations a lot easier with people, right? Because we're not too quick to judge. We're not too quick to combat what they say with our, answer. When we take the time to just see things from other people's perspective, and the key word, by the way, on that is try to see things, right? Because you can never see things from somebody else's perspective perfectly. But if you force yourself to try, you become more sympathetic, you become more empathetic to that person, and your responses will reflect that. And you have conversations that are mutual, that are respectful, and so at all times I think Principle 17 is the top in my book. Try honestly to see things from other people's perspective.
With being a better baseball player, one of the things he talked about was smiling more. And baseball is a game of failure. If you succeed 3 out of 10 times, you're in the Hall of Fame, you're a great player. And it's really, really hard with so much failure to smile all the time. But it's baseball, and being here, there's always something to smile about. So that's definitely what I think.
Growing up in the Marines, you kind of get used to being criticized and kind of belittling everybody. But in this generation now, I have to take that step back, and so that's kind of what I've been doing as a coach with these 2 teams that I have, is to kind of, hey man, you're doing a good job, just need to work on the basics and whatever the case may be. And it's just a positive reinforcement, that way you're not losing the kid, because most of these kids do get lost when you yell at them. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is implement those little steps like that.
When people attend a Dale Carnegie course, everyone is attending for different reasons, right? And some people, we in a Dale Carnegie course, we we focus on 5 key leadership elements, and those are confidence, people skills, communication, leadership, and reducing our stress so that we have better attitudes. Those are the 5 key areas that we focus on. So when somebody comes into a Dale Carnegie program, everyone is there for different reasons. People are at different levels of confidence. People are at different levels of how they cope and keep their stress in perspective. So what I hope that people get out of the Dale Carnegie program is exactly what they went in there for. The beauty is this: not only will they get that, if they're eager, right? If they want to come in and they really have the right attitude, right? I really want to do this and I'm gonna do this. In addition to that, not only will they pick up on the things that they went in there for, but because of the way the Dale Carnegie program is and because of all the different people we get in it, you're guaranteed to get so much more. Right?
Yeah, I think the Dale Carnegie course is something that's going to help them in the future, whether after they're done graduating high school and they go into the workforce, that it is just going to make them a better all-round person. Families, we have coaches that go through the seminars. Myself, communication with my spouse has made me a better person, I think, at home as well. So I think Dale Carnegie has a lot to offer.
Though I would definitely recommend this course to anybody, especially because it's good. It's a good tool to have, just to kind of understand what it takes to be a leader on and off the field, as well as coaching.